But when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. If you want to tear that down, have the decency to come and say it directly to my face. And say it like a man. You can never you can't take the vertebrae out of your back just to fit inside of someone's ceiling. Mm-hmm. You have to stand up full and proud, stand up erect. You know what I mean?
Terrence Howard isn't holding back anymore. The actor has just dropped explosive claims, backed by alleged proof, linking Tyler Perry and Diddy to disturbing crimes and long-whispered industry secrets.
So we were sitting in the service, and I leaned up toward him, and I said, I've just been touched to give $1 million.
Claims suggest that according to Terrence, the two weren't just friends. They were collaborators in something much deeper and much darker.
Not to mention the world, who has mixed feelings about homosexuality and the morality of it, and whether it's something that should be applauded or whether it's something that should be fought.
And with Perry now facing his own wave of controversy, Howard says it's time the truth came out. So what's happening? Let's get into it. Looks like Tyler Perry is caught up in some new drama, and this time it involves Terrence Howard. Word is they're about to drop some serious truth about Perry. So what's the issue? It all comes down to a heated topic: how black men are portrayed in Hollywood, especially when it comes to wearing dresses. Terrence isn't just watching from the sidelines either. He says he's been through it himself and is now speaking out. According to him, Hollywood is trying to emasculate black men, and he's calling out Tyler Perry for playing a big part in that.
The people that want that, our entire world economy is based off of the politicians and the authorities.
Rumor has it, Terrence Howard is done staying quiet about Hollywood's pressure to take on roles that challenge traditional masculinity. He's calling out the industry for labeling him difficult to work with simply because he refused to wear a dress for a role. But he's not just talking about his own experience. Terrence is shining a light on what he believes is a much bigger problem in the industry, something other stars like Dave Chappelle and Cat Williams have also spoken about. Some might see it as just another Hollywood headline, but Terrence seems serious about standing his ground.
So what is happening in Hollywood? Nobody knows. The worst thing to call somebody is crazy, is dismissive.
Word on the street is Hollywood labeled Terrence Howard difficult to work with after he turned down a role that would have had him wearing a dress. He's reportedly fed up, and some say he's even thinking about walking away from acting altogether, feeling like the industry has blackballed him for not going along with an agenda he doesn't believe in. If you've been keeping up, you probably caught Cat Williams recently speaking out about this same issue, claiming there's a push in Hollywood to get black actors in dresses as some kind of ticket to mainstream fame. Now, the talk is that Terrence might be one of those who got sidelined for simply saying no.
When I see that they put every black man in the movies in a dress at some point in their career, I'll be connecting them down like, wow, all these brothers gotta wear a dress.
Terrence Howard has definitely made waves, both for his on-screen roles and off-screen controversies, but there's no denying his talent. In a chat on Bill Maher's Club Random podcast, Terrence revealed one of his biggest career regrets, turning down the chance to play Smokey Robinson in a biopic. At the time, he was already in talks with Lee Daniels about playing Marvin Gaye in a different project, so he passed on Smokey's story. But here's the twist. He ended up walking away from the Marvin Gaye role too. Once he learned more about the direction of the film, he wasn't comfortable with it. Terrence claimed he backed out due to rumors about Marvin Gaye's sexuality, even going as far as saying he'd rather cut his lips off than kiss a man on screen. During the podcast, he also mentioned a conversation he had with Quincy Jones while those early Marvin Gaye talks were happening, adding even more context to why he stepped away.
You know what happened with that? I was over at Quincy Jones' house, but I'm asking Quincy, I'm hearing rumors that Marvin was gay, and I'm like, was he gay? And Quincy's like, yes.
Terrence Howard shared that one big reason he turned down the Marvin Gaye biopic was because the filmmakers wanted to explore rumors about Marvin's sexuality, something Howard wasn't comfortable with. He said he just couldn't play a role he didn't understand. Bill Maher agreed with him, and Howard explained that it didn't feel right to take on a character he couldn't fully connect with. During his life, Marvin Gaye's sexuality was never officially confirmed. He was married twice, first to Anna Gordy for about 10 years, then to Janice Hunter. But in a 2018 interview with Vulture, music legend Quincy Jones made a wild claim. He said Marvin Gaye had romantic relationships with other famous men, including Marlon Brando, Richard Pryor, and even James Baldwin. Jones said at the time, "He was the most charming guy you ever met. He'd sleep with anything. Anything. A mailbox, James Baldwin, Richard Pryor, Marvin Gaye." Terrence Howard's comments definitely stirred up a storm on social media. A lot of people found what he said offensive and labeled his views as problematic. Some even argued that platforms should stop giving him interviews because of the bizarre things he's said in the past. We're talking about stuff like claiming 1x1 equals 2, trying to disprove the Pythagorean theorem, saying he can kill gravity, denying the existence of zero, and even claiming he remembers the day he was born. Wild stuff. After his latest comments, plenty of users spoke out, and most weren't defending him. One person even reposted red carpet photos of Howard being kissed on the cheek by actors like Cuba Gooding Jr. and Paul Giamatti, clearly trying to call out what they saw as hypocrisy or a double standard. But here's the thing, Howard has been speaking out for a while now. He's talked about being pressured into doing things he says he didn't agree with, and once he started calling it out, he says he was blackballed by the industry. And his claims don't exist in a vacuum. Just look at the Tyler Perry case. Actor Derek Dixon filed a $260 million lawsuit against Perry, accusing him of sexual harassment, assault, and retaliation. Allegations that suggest deeper issues in the industry that Howard might have been hinting at all along.
Filed lawsuit accuses Tyler Perry of an actor on one of the filmmaker's shows. Actor Derek Dixon has sued Perry for $260 million.
The lawsuit was officially filed on Friday, June 13th in Los Angeles. According to court documents obtained by People, actor Derek Dixon accused Tyler Perry of creating a controlling and sexually inappropriate relationship, while Dixon was working on Perry's TV shows The Oval and Ruthless, where he played the character Dale. Dixon claimed that at first Perry promised him big opportunities, like producing his pilot and giving him steady acting roles. But according to the lawsuit, things took a dark turn when Dixon didn't return Perry's romantic interest. He alleged that Perry then began harassing him, sexually assaulting him, and eventually sabotaging his career as retaliation for the rejection.
Tyler Perry has been hit with a huge lawsuit from an actor by the name of Derek Dixon.
Tyler Perry's lawyer, Matthew Boyd, responded to the lawsuit by calling it a setup. Speaking to People, Boyd said, "This is someone who got close to Tyler Perry just to run a scam. Tyler won't be bullied, and we believe these false claims won't hold up." But according to actor Derek Dixon's side of the story, things played out very differently. Dixon claimed that over the months following their initial interaction, Perry kept texting him, sometimes in a flirtatious way, but also making career promises, saying he could help change Dixon's life. In November 2019, Perry gave Dixon a small role on Ruthless. Then, in January 2020, Dixon alleged that Perry sexually assaulted him at his home. Just a month later, Perry offered him a regular role on The Oval. Dixon said that when he first saw the script for his character Dale, the ending was vague. There was no clear indication if Dale would survive. According to the lawsuit, Perry allegedly warned him that if he didn't flirt back or play along, his character could be killed off. By the end of that season, Dale was shot 4 times in the chest. Dixon said this was Perry's way of showing control, implying that whether Dale lived or died depended on how well Dixon kept Perry happy. After filming that scene, Dixon alleged that Perry invited him to his trailer, where he then pinned him against the wall and groped him aggressively. He also claimed a similar incident happened in October 2020 during a cast trip to the Bahamas, where Perry allegedly groped him again. By December 2020, Dixon said he was struggling with insomnia, stomach issues, and high stress levels. A doctor reportedly diagnosed him with symptoms linked to trauma and prescribed Zoloft, a common medication for anxiety and depression. Then, in June 2021, Perry allegedly invited him over once more to talk about producing Losing It, Dixon's pilot project. But according to the lawsuit, that meeting ended in another alleged sexual assault.
Dixon says Perry sexually assaulted him at Perry's Atlanta home in January of 2020.
For about 5 months after the alleged incidents, Dixon said he dealt with serious depression, anxiety, stomach problems, and constant nausea. He was later diagnosed with PTSD. During that time, he claimed that people close to Tyler Perry, called fixers in the complaint, tried to calm the situation by offering him a raise to stay on the Oval. They also reportedly said Perry would buy the rights to his show Losing It. In January 2023, Dixon said he told Perry he was moving to California to get some distance from him. He kept working on the Oval for a while, but ended up leaving during the final season. Because of that, he claimed he missed out on nearly $400,000 in earnings. Now he's suing Perry with several serious accusations and is asking for a jury trial seeking $260 million in damages. Now, people are saying this kind of thing isn't new when it comes to Tyler. Back in 2023, actor Christian Keyes also made some claims about a billionaire in the industry. And let's be real, we can count the number of billionaires in Hollywood on one hand. Many assumed he was talking about Tyler Perry.
I got $3,000 in my bank account.
Christian Keyes didn't name anyone directly, but many people online believe he was talking about Tyler Perry. In a December 2023 Instagram Live, Keyes, an actor and writer, spoke out about being sexually harassed by a powerful man in Hollywood. He didn't reveal the person's name, but the internet quickly started guessing. Some pointed to Perry, since he had worked closely with Keyes in the past. Perry had cast him in stage plays like Medea Goes to Jail and What's Done in the Dark, and also produced the BT Plus series All the Queen's Men, which was based on Keyes' book Ladies' Night.
Be able to show up and work and create amazing and great stuff.
In the video, Keyes talked about a time when he said a powerful man who had a lot of black people on his payroll took advantage of him. You've got a grown man who knows you're straight, and you passed out in his guest room after drinking Hennessy because he said it was safe. Keyes said, "I'm 5 full Hennessy's in, not short ones either. Then this dude tries to climb into bed with you, so you freak out and push him off." Social media users are now drawing similarities between Keyes and Dixon's allegations against Perry. Actor Derek Dixon and Christian Keyes' stories are extremely similar, and both men continued working with the abuser. Both victims never called the police nor filed a police report, one ex-user wrote. Remember Christian Keyes made this video about Tyler Perry allegedly last year? I remember a blind item saying he was paid off, but more people will come forward about TP. I guess where there's smoke, there is fire, another said. One user wrote, the same story Derek Dixon is sharing of his alleged sexual assault from Tyler Perry is the same story Christian Keyes shared about a black Hollywood giant that he's worked W/for YRS before he was bullied into deleting his videos from IG. Believe survivors the first time. People have been talking for years about Tyler Perry's rumored relationship with a man named Joshua Soule, who used to work for him. Things got real in 2014 when Perry filed a restraining order against Soule after a wild incident at his Atlanta studio in October 2013. While the full story was kept quiet, the rumors never really stopped. Perry claimed that Soule didn't just show up, he broke in. According to Perry, Soule disabled the alarms, crawled through the ceiling, and locked himself in an office. The entire building had to be evacuated, and police spent 4 hours trying to get him out. Soule was arrested and charged with criminal trespassing. After that, Perry sued him, asking for a restraining order, $100,000 for harassment, $25,000 for legal fees, and even court-ordered counseling for Soule. But here's where it got even messier. Rumors started swirling that Perry and Soule may have been romantically involved, and that Soule lost it when Perry tried to cut things off. Soule's legal team denied all of that. They said he didn't stalk Perry or break into the studio, and that he was being falsely accused. Then, Soule fired back. On May 13th, he filed a $10 million lawsuit against Perry, Tyler Perry Studios, and a supervisor named Brett Hendricks. In the suit, Soule claimed he was sexually harassed while working as a production assistant in 2014. He said his supervisor called him baby, made sexual comments, offered him drugs in exchange for favors, and even told him, "I miss you." Soule said that when he reported it to Perry, nothing was done, and the behavior just kept going. Soule also claimed that Perry damaged his reputation by calling him mentally disturbed in a Facebook post. In his lawsuit, he accused Perry of creating a hostile work environment, retaliation, emotional distress, and even battery, demanding $10 million in damages. Now here's where it gets interesting. Long before all this happened, the Boondocks aired an episode that many believed was taking shots at Tyler Perry and hinting at this kind of behavior. The episode caused such a stir that rumors started flying. Some said Perry tried to get staff fired and even threatened to sue the show. Perry denied it, but the episode was quietly pulled, and the whispers only got louder. With all these lawsuits, behind-the-scenes drama, and stories disappearing without a trace, some people believe Perry has been working hard to keep things quiet, whether that means suing people, paying them off, or just saying nothing at all. But now that more details are starting to come out, folks are beginning to connect the dots that had been overlooked or ignored for years. Just like the Spike Lee situation, that no response is the best response. I'm just gonna leave it at that, Perry said, referring to separate criticism Lee lodged at him about his work. However, after numerous accusations and evidence emerging from Hollywood celebrities and workers, many people and fans believe that Tyler Perry is gay based on his behavior and how he was portrayed in the series a long time ago. Word is, there's actually video footage from one of Diddy's wild parties that could drag Tyler Perry right into the middle of this growing scandal. Tyler's been acting calm, maybe hoping things would just blow over. But now, with Diddy's former bodyguard, Gene Deal, basically hinting that some serious dirt is about to come out, it's looking like Perry might not be able to escape this one so easily.
But all this is bigger than Diddy. It's bigger than Diddy, bro. Cause you know who else they was doing investigation on?
You've got to wonder what else might come out in these tapes. Could Tyler, who some say is the handler, end up getting blamed as Diddy tries to save himself?
And he got to put something together real soon because they not playing with him. He has to put something together real soon and say, yo, listen to me. I know this, I know that. It's way bigger than Diddy.
Hollywood is starting to distance itself from Tyler Perry. It's honestly not that surprising. His name keeps coming up in some pretty shady stuff. Let's face it, Hollywood's perfect image has been falling apart for a while. And now, with all these allegations coming to light, some actresses are finally speaking up and asking the real questions. Like, why work with someone who might be involved in something this serious? Especially when the rumors say he wasn't just standing by, he might have been part of it. Not a good look, Tyler. Not at all. Tyler Perry has definitely made a big impact on the entertainment world, rising from Atlanta's theater scene to major box office success with his Madea movies. But his rise hasn't been without controversy. There have been rumors that his ego caused tension, even with big names like Oprah. In the cutthroat world of Hollywood, people often use questionable tactics to stay on top, and it seems like Tyler Perry might be no exception.
And when I'm hearing all this noise, man, it was crazy because there were no black people on television. Before diversity became a thing, Tyler Perry was the only one out there for a long time.
Renowned filmmaker Spike Lee is one of the notable voices that have criticized Tyler Perry for incorporating stereotypical characters in his work. Lee, known for his outspoken stance on social and cultural issues, has openly addressed this concern regarding Perry's creative choices.
But I still think a lot of stuff that's on today is coonery and buffoonery. And I know it's making a lot of money.
Spike Lee has gone further to suggest that the proliferation of stereotypical movies has contributed to individuals like Tyler Perry breaking records. In Lee's view, the industry could reach greater heights of excellence by steering clear of biased and nonsensical films that depict one-dimensional characters. He advocates for a more nuanced and diverse representation in cinema, challenging the industry to move beyond simplistic portrayals that perpetuate stereotypes.
But we could do better.
We all know Cat Williams doesn't hold back, and when it comes to Hollywood's top dogs, he's like a walking truth serum. Over the years, Cat has called out Tyler Perry more than once, saying Perry's success wasn't just about talent and hard work. It came with a cost. He's talked about shady deals, behind-the-scenes power plays, and how Perry allegedly treats black men in the industry. At the time, people brushed it off as just Cat being Cat. But now, with the lawsuits, the NDAs, and the silence from folks who used to be close to Tyler, maybe Cat wasn't crazy. Maybe he was just ahead of the game.
It's kind of fucked up to me that you could be a famous entertainer and make billions and billions of dollars, but the one thing you can't do is tell the truth.
And then there's Terrence Howard, someone who's had his fair share of battles with Hollywood and never really played by their rules. Lately, he's been speaking out again, standing by his past comments about how the idea of masculinity is being twisted in toxic ways within the industry. He's not attacking anyone's sexuality, let's be clear on that. What he is calling out is how some powerful men allegedly pressure or manipulate others into uncomfortable situations, all for success, favors, or control. And when Terrence talked about it, he didn't hold back. He straight up named Diddy, but he also hinted at others. Producers and filmmakers who hold major influence in Black Hollywood. Sound familiar?
Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking.
This isn't about tearing down Tyler Perry. It's about finally questioning the system he's helped uphold and asking what it really costs to make it in Black Hollywood. Howard has reportedly suggested that if any person who tried to open up about this for compensation, he or she has to bend over to the exec. Behind Hollywood's glittering facade lies a realm of untold stories, shrouded in mystery and darkness. Throughout its history, the entertainment industry has been plagued by unresolved scandals and sinister secrets that remain hidden. From the days when artists were extorted by notorious criminal syndicates to the era when taboo behaviors led to a decline in mental health, Hollywood's underbelly is filled with enigmatic tales. Yet these stories largely remain concealed from the public, as those who dared to expose the industry's dark side often met tragic fates.
Nobody wants to take that clear path. They kind of want to, they want it funky. They want to kind of thrive off.
Smart Guy shared a similar experience working in Hollywood, revealing that artists were invited to parties where they were coerced into performing obscene activities to secure deals with record labels. These actions were recorded, ensuring that if the artist ever tried to back out in the future, the recordings could be used against them.
Right, those are the things that when you say that you want to rebuild Coney Island, that's
Yo, Smart, realistically, you just said if you tell on a rapist, you
a snitch.
Yeah. Because
Smart Guy shared a similar experience working in Hollywood, revealing that artists were invited to parties where they were coerced into performing obscene activities to secure deals with record labels. According to him, these artists were possibly forced to sell their souls for money and fame. They were not only pressured into unusual acts, but also forcibly drugged. Furthermore, they were made to work late into the night to test their stamina and finalize their deals.
You go to
you do know I live in Harlem now and I see that this motherfucker look like
you. That's what you're saying.
What you mean?
According to Smart Guy, they record those absurd activities just to blackmail artists in the future. If the artist got famous and had the position, they would have the recording, and they could use it to trap them in a contract.
You get gangbanged, they blackmail you. I mean, it's a lot of, the game has evolved. That was what they did back then. Now, it's a little different.
And not only smaller artists are involved in such activities, but Smart Guy also has seen famous artists from the industry who went there just to get their contracts signed. Tyler Perry's actions and statements have shown support for gay rights and inclusion. In 2016, he voiced urgency for Georgia Governor Nathan Deal to reject a bill discriminating against the LGBT community, with a spokesperson for Tyler Perry Studios stating, "We believe in inclusion and equality for all people." One person wrote, "If Tyler is gay, it is his business. He is not the first and will not be the last. Leave Tyler alone. I love him and could not care about his lifestyle." Another one added, "Very few people shock me when they say they are gay. The bottom line, it is no one's business except that person. This is his life." That's it for today. See you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.